Asian markets trade with gains as investors assess the SCO meeting of world leaders in Tianjin, with tariff uncertainty weighing on sentiment. GIFT Nifty indicates a muted open for the Indian market. Crude oil prices rise as intensifying tensions between Russia and Ukraine spark concerns over supply disruptions. Gold hits a 4-month high and trades just shy of record high levels on increased optimism over Fed rate cuts. And PM Modi's next generation GST reforms could soon become a reality, as GST Council is set to meet on 3rd and 4th of September to discuss Centre's proposal to shift to a simplified two-slab structure of 5% and 18%, with a special 40% rate for sin and demerit goods. And US President Donald Trump claims India has offered to cut tariffs on American goods to nothing after he described the trade relation between the two countries as one-sided disaster. Hello, good morning. You've tuned into Power Breakfast on CNBC TV 18. I'm Vinny Motiwala, coming live from the Mumbai News Centre. An interesting day that we saw coming for the markets yesterday, but let's look at how the Asian markets have opened up to get an indication of what we're watching out for. I would say a mixed opening that's come in for the Asian markets, right? Taiwan index is seeing gains of around 0.4%, but on the flip side, we have Hang Seng that's a bit under pressure. ASX 200, that's the Australian index, that's also a bit muted. It's flip-flopping between the red and the green, so watch out for that one as well. Nikkei, Shanghai, that's managing to hold on to strong gains, right? Nikkei opened up with gains of 0.4%, moved up to 0.5 or 0.6% of gain as well. So that is what we're seeing in terms of a move coming in, and Shanghai also is managing to hold on to gains. Now, obviously, do not forget that, the SEO commentary that is coming in, investors are assessing all of that. Tariff concerns, that still continues to loom over there. But Alibaba shares, keep an eye out on that. That was buzzing in trade. Why? Because of their numbers in terms of the cloud unit acceleration that they saw coming in. So that was a positive there. And other than that, reports of a new AI chip is something that they were talking about. So in the Asian markets, we've seen a sharp run-up that came in for Alibaba, but a mixed opening. Let's look at, in terms of the Nifty implied open, a bit of a muted start with a slight bit of a positive bias. But that's the Asian market indication that we have, right, coming in. How is all this going to be impacting our Indian market? We have a team of research joining in with us to set us up for trade, tell you which are the important stocks to watch out for in today's trading session as well. Before I come to Sudarshan, let me actually set you all up for trade and tell you all which is the stocks or which is the, country that is actually leading in terms of a move from the data front. Now, US markets were shut yesterday, but we had commentary that came in from Donald Trump, right? And they said that India doesn't have a significant trade with US, but now they've spoken about India just leaving absolutely nothing in terms of a tariff that could come in for the Indian market. So as of now, he said nothing sort of a tariff. So let's keep an eye out on that. Now, US futures as of now, not much of a change coming in here, right? Because investors are also assessing these latest developments that have come in. And yesterday, the markets were closed. FIIs on the Indian market front yesterday, we saw FIIs were sellers again, 1,430 crores of sell, while DIIs remained buyers in the trading session as well. Now, important cues that we are keeping an eye out on in terms of trade for today. Do not forget, JSW Cement, which recently listed, they will be reporting their Q1 numbers. Other than that, PM Modi is going to be inaugurating the Semicon India 2025 in New Delhi. India, UAE, there were some talks that came in there as well, right? Mainly in terms of talks on non-oil, non-precious metals trade worth around $100 billion by 2030. So important updates between India and UAE. New US visa interview waiver rules will be applicable for today. We are seeing in the global front US ISM PMI manufacturing data, as well as do not forget, today is the first time that we're going to be seeing the Tuesday Nifty expiry that comes into play. So that is something that we will be keeping an eye out on. Given that yesterday we had seen that Nifty close about 24,600 level, snapping that three-day losing streak. So keep an eye out on that point. Nifty expiry after a very long time has come in on Tuesday, Nifty Bank. So that will be key to watch out for. And I mentioned implied open, just 5 points up as of now. So muted start is what we're watching out for. But let's move on and go across to Gaurav, who's here to tell us which are the important stocks to watch out for in today's trading session. Good morning.
Well, good morning. First, let's begin with BEL because this company has received an order worth 644 crores and this order is coming from multiple sources like data center, ship control system, tank navigation system. Other than that, Purvankara is in focus and the reason being that they have secured one of the redevelopment projects at Malabar Hill, which is one of the prime location across India, and the gross development value is going to be around 2,700 crores for this project. SIAT is also going to be in focus because they have completed the acquisition of Camso brands of highway construction equipment tires and track business. With this, they get the global ownership of Camso brand. Other than that, United Breweries, this is also on our radar today because company has now strengthened their presence in Andhra Pradesh with commencement of Kingfisher production at Ilios Breweries at Andhra Pradesh with the capacity of more than 4 lakh cases of beer per month. Other than that, some stocks on focus on the back of the monthly update. We have got Hero MotoCorp. Good set of numbers is what we saw. Sales were at 5.54 lakh unit. It was a bit higher than our estimate as well. NMDC also reported good set of numbers. Total sales increased almost by 8% on a year-on-year basis. And let's also not forget about Coal India. Here also we saw production number going up almost by 9%, which was actually better if we compare it with the expectation. So definitely all these stocks are going to be on our radar today.
Okay, Gaurav, thank you so much for that. But for that final update, Sudarshan is joining in with us to tell us what are we watching out for in the world of F&O. Good morning, Sudarshan. After very long, the Tuesday expiry, what are the cues that we're watching out for now?
Good morning, Vinny. So finally, the day has come and Nifty's expiry shifts to Tuesday from Thursday. And for yesterday's session, we saw two major sectors, auto and IT, that led healthy gains across the market and also helped Nifty close about 24,600. That becomes very important support for Nifty. Financials, though, closed with gains but remain one of the major underperformers. For today, GIFT Nifty, following the subdued global cues, is indicating a subdued start for our market as well. And in the absence, because US market was shut today, we saw just minor FI selling yesterday. They have sold 1,400 crore, but DI buying continues. Yesterday also in the cash market, they have bought more than 4,300 crore, and minor buying was seen in index futures too by FIs, and that figure was around 500 crore, and they have added long positions of around 1,500 contracts and almost 1,200 contracts reduced on the short side. Now, FI long exposure slightly improved. It's now at 9%. On the short side, position remains around 91%. On the option front, on the call side, 24,650 and 24,600 have seen option build up. At the same time, premium has moved higher. So it tells you that for now, base for Nifty is now around 24,600. If you come to the put side, 24,500 put has seen addition of 1.4 crore shares, and premium has slipped to 17, and 24,600 put has seen addition of more than 1.2 crore shares, and here also premium has fallen to 39. So support for Nifty, first support 24,500. If we slip below that, next support comes around 24,426. Resistance 24,700 will be very important resistance level for Nifty. If we cross that, then major buying can be seen. Two stocks that I have taken, PG Electroplast and KPI Tech. PG Electroplast has seen fresh longs, while KPI Tech, we saw short covering. And apart from these two, keep an eye on BSE on the back of the expiry for Nifty that shifts to Tuesday.
Okay, Sudarshan, thank you so much for that. But now let's shift focus and talk about the much-awaited GST meeting, right? The GST Council is set to meet on 3rd and 4th of September. And we'll discuss the centre's proposal to shift to a simplified two-slab structure of 5% and 18% with a special 40% rate for sin as well as demerit goods. If approved, the move will make a wide range of common use items cheaper. Daily necessities are expected to fall in that lower slab of 5%. Televisions, refrigerators, washing machines, microwaves, small cars and motorcycles below 350cc, which are currently taxed at 28%, may move down to 18% slab as well. Now, the proposal also includes a major relief for consumers and industries with life and health insurance premium as well as reinsurance likely to be exempted from the GST. So important in the next 2 days, this GST Council meet and what the update comes in on that front. But on that note, let's just slip into a very short break. And after the break, we'll get to the latest updates from the White House in our special segment, Trump Watch. Thanks for staying tuned into Power Breakfast on CNBC TV 18. Now let's move on and get you the latest on Trump-related developments. We have Dia joining in with us in a special segment, Trump Watch. Good morning, Dia.
Good morning. Now, starting off with a fresh statement from US President Donald Trump about trade with India. Now, Trump has said that India has offered to cut its tariff to nothing. Now, this comes after Washington imposed 50% levies last week as punishment for India's purchases of Russian oil. Now, in a post on Truth Social, Trump wrote, they have now offered to cut their tariffs to nothing, but it is getting late. They should also have done this years ago. Meanwhile, U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says the Trump administration is weighing the possibility of declaring a national housing emergency this fall. Speaking on Monday, Bessent said, we are trying to figure out what we can do, and we don't want to step into the business of states, counties, and municipal governments. We may, however, declare a national housing emergency in the fall. And on the global stage, Brazil's President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva is convening a virtual meeting of BRICS leaders next Monday. Now, according to sources familiar with the matter, the agenda will focus on Trump's trade policy, including the new U.S. tariffs and the efforts to rally emerging market nations in support of multilateralism. Now, that's all for today. Back to you, Vinny.
Okay, Dia, thank you so much for that. But keeping it with the US and the updates that came in there, White House Trade Advisor Peter Navarro once again talked about how India is the Maharaja of tariff and said that India's oil trade with Russia is nothing but profiteering. Listen in.
Problem is that India literally is the Maharaja of tariffs. It has the highest tariffs of any major country in the world, and it's in denial about that. It tries to tell everybody out there that that's not true when it is demonstrably true. So they should engage with us. They haven't done that as Japan, Korea, the Philippines, Indonesia, the European Union has. They simply think they continue having their way with us. President Trump's not going to allow that. Now, Putin gives India a discount on crude. They refine it, sell at premium prices to Europe, Asia, and Africa. It's nothing but profiteering. India cannot stand on the thin reed that somehow they need this oil to run their cars or cool their homes. It's false, just simply false.
Also, Peter Navarro talked about PM Modi's relation with China in the light of conflicts between the two countries over the years. Listen to what he had to say.
It was a shame to see Modi getting in bed as the leader of the biggest democracy in the world with the two biggest authoritarian dictators in the world, in Putin and Xi Jinping. That doesn't make any sense. I'm not sure what he's thinking, particularly since India has been in a Cold War and sometimes a hot war with China for decades.
Meanwhile, India has pushed back against the criticism by the US over its Russian oil purchases in a strongly worded column published in The Hindu. Oil Minister Hardeep Singh Puri said that India stabilized the markets and prevented a catastrophic $200 per barrel shock. Without naming White House trade advisor Peter Navarro, Puri wrote, and I quote, "Some critics allege that India has become a laundromat of Russian oil. Nothing could be further from the truth." End of quote. Navarro had claimed that India's big oil lobby and turned the country into an oil money laundromat for the Kremlin. Union Minister Puri also highlighted that India has not broken any rules and its imports comply with the G7's price cap mechanism, which is designed to cap Moscow's revenue while keeping the oil flowing. And let's move on to the top headlines from the SEO summit. What was the update there? A new beginning with Beijing and affirmation of India's decade-long story relation with Moscow. Prime Minister Modi's visit to China's Tianjin for the SCO summit was a significant event on many grounds. Prime Minister Modi's visit to China, the first in 7 years, came amidst India's tariff standoff with the United States government, and the SCO summit also witnessed the newfound emergence of the East as PM Modi, China's Xi Jinping, as well as Russia's Vladimir Putin were seen together in what could be described as a delicate mix of rivalries and shifting power dynamics. This meeting is notable amid the ongoing tussle with the three nations, where the three nations are facing with the US President on Donald Trump on rising tariffs and global uncertainties. We spoke to two former diplomats to get a sense on what the Modi and Xi Jinping meet could mean for the ties between the two nations. Listen in.
From our point of view, if we can maintain peace and tranquility on the border, then we can slowly open up other aspects of our ties in a limited way, so as to keep the relationship stable and also persuade China. And this has always been our case without getting any result, that we must reduce the trade deficit between the two countries.
Prime Minister was very clear that we are not looking at India-China relations through prism of relations with a third country or lens of a third country. Prime Minister reiterated that for normal development relations, you need peace and tranquility to maintain in border areas. Border issue is back to the center stage of the relationship.
Okay, those were the updates that are coming in here right now from the global front, and India stand there. But on that note, let's slip into a very short break. After the break, we'll get you what's happening in the world of commodities. Stay tuned in. Welcome back to Power Breakfast on CNBC TV 18. Now let's talk about the US markets that remained shut on Monday for Labor Day. But stock futures, what are they indicating? They are also remaining, little change that we're seeing, not much of a change there, as investors are weighing the latest development on trade front to kick off a seasonally poor month for the equities. Now, those moves come after the Federal Appeal Court on Friday ruled the most of President Donald Trump's global tariffs that are illegal. So we'll wait out for more updates coming in on that front as well. Now, that is US futures indicating not much of a change there. But let's move on and go across to Manisha, who's here to give us the updates in the world of commodities. Good morning, Manisha. And we are starting off the day with gold again at record highs.
Oh, well, absolutely. It's been some year, 2025, and we're looking at very strong gains continuing for the prices. We are up by nearly 35% for the gold prices this year, and silver is up by 41% in this current year until now. The gold is the one that has hit a new high in the international markets, in the Indian markets as well. There is safe haven demand due to uncertainty of U.S. trade tariffs. The dollar index is trading at a one-month lows, and markets right now are pricing in a probability of an 88% of the U.S. Fed rate cut in the month of September. That really has been very supportive for prices. And then you have seen strong investment demand. The central bank buying has been on the stronger side. The street will now watch out for the U.S. non-farm payroll data that comes in on Friday, and that would give you a further direction in case of markets. But until then, it is a very strong going that we have seen in gold and silver both. In addition to that, the dollar index trading at a one-month lows also seems to be very supportive.
Okay, Manisha, thank you so much for that. So that's the update coming in the world of commodities. Now on to some national updates that we have. The flood situation in Punjab remains grim. So far, 29 people have died from rain-related incidents, and more than 2 lakh people have been affected by the floods. Incessant rains and floods have affected almost the entire state, causing unprecedented damage to human lives, crops, livestock, and infrastructure. Prime Minister Modi dialed Punjab CM Bhagwat Mann to discuss the situation and assured all help and support to the state. Now, meanwhile, in Himachal Pradesh's Chief Minister Sukhwinder Singh Sukhu has declared a disaster in the state. The Chief Minister told the assembly 320 people have lost their lives in the last month due to landslides and floods, and he estimated a total damage could cost over 3 lakh crore rupees. Relief operations are ongoing, but several areas remain cut off. The Met Department has warned of more rains and landslides over the next 24 hours. And more national updates coming in. Relentless monsoon showers continue to lash North India. The weather forecast for Delhi today warns of intense downpour as well. In Gurugram, heavy rains have triggered severe waterlogging and massive traffic jams, with reports of a 7-kilometer-long traffic snarl. IMD has issued an orange alert for Delhi, Noida and Gurugram regions. Now, the District Disaster Management Authority has advised all schools and colleges and offices to remain closed for today as well. And in some international news that we have coming in, more than 800 people have been killed after an earthquake of a magnitude of 6 struck eastern Afghanistan. As per authorities, at least 2,800 people have been injured. Rescue operations continue, but reaching remote areas remains challenging due to the rough mountainous terrains and harsh weather. As per Taliban government, some villages have been completely destroyed, while many people are feared trapped under the rubble. Now, that's all the update that we have coming in for you all this morning, and that's all the time we have on this edition of Power Breakfast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Up next, your Bhasan Morning Call.